Good morning, world. Good morning to everyone. Bonjour à tout le monde et bienvenue sur ma chaîne YouTube. Je m'appelle Mamize. Merci d'être là. Thank you for being here, anyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you and your time and your engagement and everything. I appreciate your support. You know, and talking about support, I don't know where my number one supporter has been, Mr. Uganda. I don't know where you have been. I guess you're busy with your real life, but I wish you well. I hope you're doing fine. I miss you in my life. You have been my number one supporter always, forever. Uh, Shout out to Africa Millennia. Shout out to you. Hopefully you get to come on the live today. So, yeah, my topic, yeah, this topic was inspired by a live stream I was in yesterday, uh, which was my favorite YouTuber, Go Black to Africa, and one more of my other favorite YouTuber, which is Mark. What is it? Mark in Africa or something like that. Mark in Africa, something like that. Mark and Go Black to Africa. So they had a live stream yesterday where they were talking about. They were not really talking about corruption, but they were overall. Mike was explaining his frustration in Africa. And by the way, he had made a complete video on his channel previously talking about all the difficulty, the challenges that he has encountered since he's been in Africa, and how disappointed and very worn out, worn down he is, and all that. So he made Go Black to Africa, and they were talking about um, all those things. So the conversation led to corruption. And it was very interesting. The thing that I heard from Go Black to Africa, I wouldn't have thought that he was saying, like, he would give that type of, he would see things from that type of angle. It was very strange. It was very um eye-opening, to be honest with you guys. So yeah, that conversation was very interesting. I'm going to share it here and I'm going to discuss it. And hopefully, um, some people will come on the panel and tell me what they think about all that. It was a lot. It was a lot. So I'm going to try to retrieve the live stream from Go Black to Africa's channel, and we will talk about it. Yep. Let me get there. Go black. Go black to Africa. The title of the video on Go Black to Africa's channel is African American 21 years says Africa is corrupt and evil and about to quit and leave. Yeah, that's the title. Yeah, I don't blame him for that. He's very resilient. I would have, like, yeah, I would have quit too. So. I was thinking about making a complete video response to this. But how it takes so long. I hate editing, to be honest with you guys. I'm not good at it. And I feel like it takes too long. It takes a long time to edit. Oh, looks like there's no one here. Where are you guys? Let me share present. How do you share? Let me see. I'm going to share this thing. Let me, what's the volume? There's no volume. Mm. How do I turn the volume up?
What's good with you? Not much. We've been together all day. I tell you, one thing I enjoy about being around Go Black to Africa is he's a perspective shift. You know, perspective shift. He is. Like I don't know how we both ended up in Zambia at the same time, but we're here, we're together, we're connected now. Yeah. And when I get around, we've been taking their little Instagram pictures on the side of us right here. She looks okay in that dress. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. I say this.
The mass is a huge pipe dream, but solidarity amongst the leaders is much easier.
I don't know how I got
and
here.
It's not that many
Hold
people.
on. How did
you
I
don't
get
down
here?
to a solid
Let me
100,000
go
people
back.
whose mind you have.
As a drop of fresh water. And remember that, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but and tell them about the interview with the lady from yesterday about the stuff they're doing in Thailand. Nah. Okay, not yet. But we do a lot of crazy stuff. You gotta. Is this the tea? Oh, I see. I'm not special enough to get mine. No, I get it. In there. And so when I was over there, it's like when I didn't care and overlooked all their negative behaviors, nothing went wrong. But the moment I start caring and trying to get things done, things go wrong. I say, and it's not to say there's no way to do anything over there. There's a way. But in the situation I dealt with, it was not the right way. People, everybody wants to get something. And I know I'm being very generous.
I see it differently.
What do you see?
I see it differently because you said the right way.
Somebody said not all of Tanzania, all of Africa. I haven't experienced all of Africa.
Right.
So to me, it's Tanzania. And I've been to other countries, and yes, I've seen aspects of it. And I'm sure I'm going to.
I'm doing wonderful, Rice. Rice Morris. This is a very important topic today, Rice. I would love for you to tell me what you think. So to kind of summarize it, Go Black to Africa and Mark Meet Africa, we're talking, right? Mark Meet Africa. I don't know if you know about him. He's a YouTuber. He's in Tanzania and he's been there for a while. So he is frustrated with Tanzania, where he couldn't get everything, his projects, to move forward because the people there, I mean, the people that are supposed to kind of like sign and oversee the paperwork and do the all the check, kind of like giving him a runaround because they're asking him for money, you know, for money to do the job that they're supposed to be doing anyway. So he's so frustrated, and he made a video about it where he explained it in detail and more on his channel. If you can go to his channel, or maybe, but My issue is that he met Go Black to Africa in Zambia. They are both uh, happened to be in Zambia at the same times, and they had a conversation about the topic. So Go Black to Africa's perspective was completely like unexpected when it comes to me and what I know from about him. To me, I'm seeing him change like right in front of my eye. Go Black to Africa is becoming like he basically look as if he's like molding himself into the Africans, typical Africans mentality. And that's exactly the mentality we're supposed to be fighting against. But what he was saying was very surprising to me. Wow. So I don't know. I'm just gonna play the video and we're gonna all see what he says. It's very surprising. And I don't know if I should be disappointed or what. I know for sure that it's that I'm surprised, to be honest with you. I know he explained it further down the road, but still, I stand with Mike because what Go Black to Africa is standing is defending. It's exactly what's killing Africans, especially Africans on the continent.
Keep seeing it, and I'm gonna keep seeing it, and I'm gonna keep seeing it. And if I go to South America, I'll probably see it. If I go to Asia, I'll probably see it. But because I haven't been to those places, that's what it is for me.
I'll say this right here. When I say I see it differently, is that look, tell me Africa need help. You got people out here, man, who's making that bank. And that's BMW right there.
We need help. Look at yourself. We
Look,
need help.
I say, look, majority of black folk come to Africa barely got enough money to sustain themselves. How are you going to talk about coming to Africa and helping somebody?
Yeah.
But anyway,
The audacity.
what I said, how I see it, is we have to understand how business is done.
Yeah.
See, we come from America where we think that everybody's supposed to do it the way that we are used to doing it.
Yeah, big mistake.
Look, I had to pay a police officer yesterday, right? He said I made a turn on the light, and this was my fourth country getting stopped by police officers. And I'm gonna tell you, people call it corruption. I don't call it corruption. Yeah. That he said the charge is 750 of their what they call it here, small kwaches.
Yeah.
I said I'm not paying 750 kwaches.
Which is like how much?
That's about that's like
50, 60 bucks.
47, 48 bucks.
Okay.
And I said I'm not paying that. I don't have that. That's what I always do. I ain't got that. But listen to this right here. Is that corruption? Is that the formality of how things are just done here in these countries? Because in America, just think about this right here. In America, you get a ticket, right? You go to court. You gotta take a day off of work. You got to pay a court cost and pay your ticket.
Yeah.
You then, because of the ticket, your insurance will go up, right? Because you're going to get points on your insurance. So they hit you all different ways where everybody's getting paid off your ass.
Yeah, everybody. The whole system is running on your payment.
But the police officer in this place here, in different countries, is like, we can handle the matter right now.
Yeah.
We ain't getting paid much or nothing to do this job.
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and do it the way you're used to in your country. We can do it that way. Or we can do it the expedite way.
Yeah.
Because look, I tell people right here, in America, if you want to get your passport, you can pay extra money to get it
Get
expedited.
it done quick.
Or you can do it the way, if you ain't got that much money, you can wait the 8 to 12 weeks.
VIP system, you said.
If you want to go to a amusement park, if you want to jump the line and not wait all day, you can pay for the VIP tickets to everybody that's in a long line, or you can see, we got to open our minds up to realize that we want to call Africa corrupt, but we have systems in place. They will charge you more in America if you want to get ahead of the line, if you don't want to, even if you don't want to pay the ticket, you can go hire your attorney. They will take care of the matter for you.
Yeah.
These are it's the same thing but done in a different way.
Yeah.
So I don't say right ways. The guy was asking for a laptop. Oh, you want to move to the laptop?
And I bet if I gave it to him, I'd be good and ready and done everything.
Do you know how many people do that in America? You got Sally Sue sitting at that front desk who's collecting paperwork. And she has to put this paperwork in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yours can either go on the top or the bottom.
Yeah.
But see, you was wise enough to come in with some donuts that morning.
Yeah.
And you came in with some donuts. I said, good morning, Sue. How are you doing this morning? Oh, I'm doing just fine. You know what? I'm bringing in some donuts for you this morning.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm in a good mood. And you know what? You work very hard.
You help me out, I'll help you.
You know what? I mean, and I come in here inquiring about my paperwork or I've done some business before and you just help me out on right there. Where do you think your paperwork going? The top or the bottom?
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't mind me addressing somebody's comment, somebody said it's still corruption. I think, here's the thing.
What does corruption mean?
I think what I would define
Please give me definition of corruption.
Is if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
When people say corruption, because I half agree with them. And it's essentially, you have a system that's put in place where there are laws that say this is how it's done.
Okay, let me pause you right there. Do they have those systems in place here?
I'd say on paper, yes. In practice, no. Right? Is that unfair to say? On paper, they say you have to go through this system, you have to do this, you have to pay this ticket this way. They offer you the second choice, the officer directly. They'll offer you the second choice. Do you want to just pay here?
I've been into countries where it's Ghana, for instance. It's known police officers take the money and don't write tickets. They don't even have ticket books for you to go to court.
It's known, but again, on paper. And I think it's all for looks, right?
We have not seen that formality on their so-called paperwork. In America, so I understand what you're saying. You're saying corruption is if you have a formality, if you had a laid-out process system of where you got to follow the steps in, and that there.
Okay, Raz, you're saying that you are saying that to be honest with you, Auntie, I do not think the diaspora should engage in any African politics. Is it politics? Corruption is politics in Africa now? I don't know what that means, and I don't even know how to feel about that. The fact that you think our politics, corruption is our politics, okay. Because we are coming there as if we know. Number one, we need to get citizenship. Number two, acceptance from a tribe. I don't know about that. You're always looking for a tribe. All that. Like, if you knew, I don't know if you've been in Africa ever, but if you know Africa, nobody is going to deny you anything over there. You do not even need citizenship to be accepted by a tribe. They'll be honored to have you. Trust me. They'll be honored. African people are set up to love foreigners because anything is better than them. That's just the way it is. If you're going to Africa, you're not from Africa, know that you're going to be accepted. You're going to be embraced. It doesn't matter. If they can accept Chinese people, how much more maybe a Black person coming from elsewhere? That they are even more curious to learn about you as a Black person coming from the white man's land. Like, we're not used to that. That is new. That would be the new the new thing to explore, to be honest with you. Because we know that a foreigner is a white person. When we say white in Africa, many people don't even know what white means. That means straight hair, little bit light. It doesn't even matter. Even Indians are called white in Africa. So there's no distinction. They don't know much about that to even know exactly who's supposed to be pure white and who is not. No. Like, if you're going to Africa to be accepted by a tribe, that shouldn't be, They would love to have you. Trust me, they would love. They'll be happy. They will accept you. They're like foreign people, foreign things. That's just the mentality. But corruption is not a politic. I don't. You say then we can engage in African politics if we seek out citizenship and acceptance from a tribe in the African country you want to invest. If we are not, if we are foreigners, just like the white and Chinese, you're still gonna be considered. There's a learning process that you guys don't understand. I feel like Black people are the most impatient human being on earth. Like it's just now that Africa has been introduced to what a I always say one part of themselves that was gone a long time ago. Even the concept, they lived their life. We live our life not thinking about like Black people around the world. We only think about, we only know that there's black and white. That's it. We only know the people that we see. We're not used to see Black people coming back to Africa. So that's new to them. They have to get warm to that. They have to learn about that and create the relationship and understand. I mean, it's in both ways. I mean, even the people that were outside of Africa, it's not like they were looking for Africans also to reconnect with. This just happened recently, and with the with the fact that there's social media, there's YouTube, there all that, it is spread. A lot of people now are saying those things and learning about those things and understanding that there are some people that want to be that are Black elsewhere around the world that want to retrieve maybe their origin or their root or whatever. African person is the last person on earth that will ever say no or turn their back on anyone. African people are the most accepting and permeable human being on earth, and to their own demise, to be honest with you, because it sometimes fire back fire back on them. They still haven't learned. They're still embracing. They're still engaging. They're still sharing their teeth. Anybody come? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've never seen people as naive, as gullible like than African people. That's how they are, more rice more. That's how we are. We are the most, I would say, stupid, to be honest with you, because some people don't just. If you embrace everybody, right? If your philosophy is just to embrace people, and the worst part of it is that we embrace without even valuing ourselves first, because you have to make sure you're good first before you start embracing people. Because if you're not good, you're not gonna be able to take care of anybody, and those people gonna take control over you and over your people. And that has, I mean, it's a proven fact. It's not even like, yeah. So that's the last thing we should worry about. I wanted to also say that corruption is not African politics. There's corruption everywhere. But the corruption that Mike is speaking about is a different kind of corruption. We're talking about you cannot do nothing. Because what Gold Black is failing to understand is that it's not a one-time thing. It's not that Mike is going to pay the guy that is holding his paperwork one time and that's going to be it. And he's going to move on with his business and flourish. No, that's not, no, 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 no. No, it would have been so easy, but that's not the case. You're going to pay that person. Maybe that person is holding back your paper. He's holding back your paper at where just for his signature, and maybe there's somebody else's signature after his that's needed. Maybe somebody that's above him, and the person that's above I mean, it goes on and on. By the time you're done, you don't even have a capital for your business anymore. That's the reality. That's what Go Black is failing to understand.
There is no other option for people to utilize, and yet you move outside of that operation. That's called corruption. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah. But you cannot tell me that there are formalities written as far as procedures on exactly the process of how things are going to be ran in some of these countries, because there's not.
Yeah, for I think a lot of people that have never been to Africa don't understand that there's wiggle room in every direction.
And I rather play.
Okay, Go Black. You guys are saying that there's no infrastructure put in place. There's no what is he even saying? But just to paraphrase, he's just saying that they don't have the means to really carry on the rules and regulation, because these people are poor. They don't have the logistic, I would say like that, because he's saying that the police officer doesn't even have a notebook to write a ticket, which is true. But guess what? The reason why they don't have those things is because they haven't they don't see value into doing things the right way. They want to cut corner when it comes to anything. They think that to them going the right way is takes too long. But they could have just like give me the money and then you. But it's not helping anybody. How can we even say that something like that is good? It's not helping. It's defeating the purpose of whatever they were trying to do.
Pay the police officer and then go to court and all that mess that you got to. Because like I explained before, in America, they're gonna get you. You're gonna pay the court costs. Yeah. You gotta take a day off of work. Some of y'all gonna have to lose a days of work paid. Yeah. Then you're gonna go ahead and have to pay an insurance company for that extra points that you got on, right? Mm-hmm. So my thing is that who really is the corrupter? Yeah. Who is the corrupter? Yeah. And who decides? And matter of fact, that even then they have these police officers out here who are looking to stop people who might be what do they call it? We're looking just people of color, or looking for, what's that called? Police officers who are
it's not prejudice, discrimination.
Profiling.
No, not discrimination. When you are targeting certain people, you could call profiling. Yeah. So you got people who are just profiling, stopping you just for cause, making lies of talking about you were speeding, talking about you ran through light. Yeah. And then write your ticket, and now you got to fight to prove that you are in the right and they are in the wrong. Yeah.
What do you want?
I want a job that I don't hate.
Corruption just looks different.
Corruption's totally different in America.
I don't even know. Go Black to Africa. You just annoyed me right here, to be honest. I don't know why you're comparing apples and banana. That's not the same context. That is not the same context. How are we going to grow as Africans if we cannot be disciplined? Go Black to Africa. I don't know. I feel like you hate America so much. I don't know. And whatever happens to Black people in America, you are just carrying around and letting yourself be blindsided by that. How is Africa going to get to a point where it's catering to the majority of the population if we're going to outlimit ourselves at that lowest way of thinking? So you're saying that corruption is okay now, and that nothing is wrong with the way these people are doing, and that there's no room for improvement? You are the one that went to Ghana and was like screaming and yelling and and talking about how you will not buy a property in Ghana because the Ghanaian people deserve better. Nowadays, you're getting comfortable in Africa. You're becoming a real African. And before you know it, like Mike said in his video, in his channel, before you know it, you're going to have that blood of corruption, that blood of evilness flowing through your vein, because you will have lowered your standard and let yourself being corrupt by whatever is going on there. These people hate their own people.
And here's the thing. Think about this. Everywhere, every country you go to, here in Africa, everybody talking about their government is corrupt. You don't never hear Americans says that their system is corrupt. Never.
But here's the thing.
We don't
What?
When
listen.
people talk about
Listen, we
corruption
don't
in any
care.
Western country, they say
Listen, go back to Africa. We don't care about what America is, government is corrupt or not. Even if the American government is corrupt, people can still find, people can still progress in the American system. Americans still have the ability to build a business without the government meddling and holding them back. I don't think the government is holding anyone back in America. I don't think so. You cannot compare. You are the only reason why you'll be able to thrive and succeed in Africa is because you're a foreigner and you have the dollar with you. Think about the people that are there, that were born there and grew up there, and that have no opportunity because of corruption and nepotism. You cannot go to Africa and tell me that there's nothing wrong with corruption. Go back to Africa. Are you serious? Are you serious? You saying to Mike, so Mike wanted to carry out this project that's being held back by this officer. I don't know who he did not disclose the identity of this individual, but apparently it's someone in some office in Tanzania that is asking Mike to buy him a computer before he can process his paperwork for him to open his shopping center. So Mike got frustrated. These people keep postponing, and this is what they do. They will give you an appointment that they will not honor, and they will not even prevent you in advance that the appointment is not gonna be maintained, so that you can. They don't give you heads up, nothing. On the day off, you show up and they say, we're gonna postpone it to next month. Mark's been going through it. It's been at least 5 or 6 times these people have done that to him. He got so frustrated. He has to leave Tanzania to go to Zambia to kind of like breathe a little bit, regroup, and go back. Go Black is saying, just buy him a computer. How much is a computer? A computer is just $300. No, a computer is $300 for Mike. Maybe because Mike is American, $300 is nothing. In Africa, $300 can be someone's like 6 months salary. Don't just look at it from that, like from the American people's standpoint. Don't just look at it like that. It's not fair. And you have a big audience. And when you're saying stuff like this, it's gonna even comfort the African themselves that engage in corruption and think it's okay because that's what Africa is. There's a circle. You have to be in the circle. When you're in the circle, you use the people that are out of the circle to make a fortune. Just like the whole world, just like the Western world used the poor African country to make their country look the way it looks, to create the economy and make their people thrive and all that. It's the same concept in Africa, except that it's their own people against themselves. There's a circle. You're in the circle, you're good. What you guys see here on YouTube, people like promoting how they reach, especially Africans. When they tell you how they made their fortune, how they did this, I don't believe none of that. Because if you have to go to the bottom of it, you're gonna see that they have used their own people to get to where they are. For the most part, either they come from a very rich family where all those corrupt government official are behind them, and they know how to navigate the system. They're gonna make it look as if the other people are just being too lazy and not talented and all that. That's why they're not successful. But that's not the truth. The truth is that these people belong to there's a clique, there's a circle. When you belong to the circle, you're good. You can buy property in United States, in England. They steal the country's money to do all those things. We know. You can build your business. You can do whatever you do. The reality is that if you are like maybe let's say you are maybe a controller, and you go over there and sit in that business for like 6 months, you're gonna see that it doesn't function. That even the benefit they tell you that they're realizing, the profit they tell you they're realizing is not what it is. You're gonna see that the money is coming from elsewhere. They're just doing money laundering. That's it. I rarely trust Africans with business, trust me. They don't even have a real sense of, they cannot even tell you exactly how much they make, how much profit they make monthly at all. They're always in some shady stuff. But anyway.
It's from the top. And of course, we know corruption everywhere is from the top. But at least in America, the corruption, and this is what I've always said, and I believe it, at least in America, because there's petty corruption and there's high-end corruption.
No, corruption's corruption. That's all it is.
No, Go Black. No, stop it. No.
So when you walk, okay, let me ask you, if you walk into the store, because there's corruption of the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's corruption of the monetary system in business. If you walk into a store and have to argue the price of a bottle of water because that person changed it for you, do you consider that corruption?
No.
Okay. No. But I think a lot of people would.
Look,
they'd consider that corruption. Look at how this fits in the. I just noticed they gave us the plates that fit the cups.
Anyway,
Small
so
pizza.
that's smart. You gotta love them. But think about this: you go into a store and they don't have price tags on it. That price is only predicated upon what they want to sell it to you for. That's free game. Now, if it had a price tag on it and they're trying to charge you a different price,
yeah.
Come on now, how many of y'all go up there in Kroger or go to the grocery stores or some furniture store and they got the big sign that say $50, right?
Yeah.
But then you get to the cash register and they try to charge you $80. Which one you gonna fight for?
Yeah.
The $50? No, that's false advertising. That's what we argue, right? That's what we argue.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna stand by that price of that $80 that the machine says, you're gonna call that corruption.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. If you put it like that, and this is a perspective I think I like, because you put it in a way that is understandable.
No, it's not understandable. Go Black is not understandable. Don't let Go Black soften your viewpoint, your position. The position that you initially had was the correct approach. I don't think by trying to make it sound less than what it is going to change the fact. Nobody in America is asking you to give them money to sign a document that they're supposed to, that's their job. Nobody's America is doing that to you. No, you cannot compare the corruption in Africa to the corruption. That is disingenuous, Go Black. I hate that you said that, to be honest with you. It's almost as if you cannot expect better from Africa. African people have low moral values. It has become a culture. We were not like that. 15 years ago when I was growing up, we were people of integrity, people of honesty, people of high value. What are you guys seeing in Africa today? It's a spread of a culture that came in the 2000s. We were upright. We were still naive, but we were not corrupt and just ready to scam for a dollar. If you want to scam millions, huh? Compromise yourself for millions. I don't know. Don't go and be. We have become beggars, basically. No value. No moral standard. So this young man left America to come to Tanzania to open a shopping center. When we open a shopping center, that is giving money in the government pocket, okay? Why should he have to buy a computer, a laptop to some government official that's supposed to be signing him a permit? Why does he have to buy a laptop to go black?
You're right. They don't have prices sometimes, but it's like you said, just like with the police corruption, it's known, right? Because now there's the example again in practice versus on paper. The price in practice versus the price on paper. The corruption in practice, the corruption on.
Hello, Joel. Jem Joel. Hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. Let me know what you think about this. This is Go Black to Africa telling Mark goes to Mark's Meet Africa that corruption is everywhere. You just have to like do what you gotta do to keep it moving.
On paper, or the police officer stopping you when you didn't violate.
And he dare compares it to America. Nobody is preventing me from doing anything in America. I don't have to do any under the table whatever for anybody in America to do anything for me. When I go somewhere, I meet the requirement and they grant me whatever I'm asking. Whether they sign my document, they do whatever, they give me a return of service. That's it. But you go here, a person decide to sit on your document to prevent you from moving forward with your business, with your project. Is that something that is encouraging? These people are self-destructive. When you see how destitute Africa looks, it's self-inflicted. And this is something that has become a culture. It takes some people that are not used to that kind of way of doing to really open the eyes of the people. Because I believe that really, if we want, we can open people's eyes. Like me, I was over there. You right? I was over there doing the same thing. To be honest with you guys, it's the way of life. If someone tells you otherwise, the person is lying. Don't let Africa come on YouTube be ashamed of the way they behave and start lying, making up story. We do. Everybody knows. Even when you go into the office, to an office for something, for a service, you're gonna ask them how much is it. You pay the official fee, and then you pay the under the table fees. You already asked them, oh, how much is it gonna want for me to do my paperwork? That's ridiculous. And then we're gonna cry about how our economy is not it's not blooming, it's not growing, huh? How are we gonna achieve prosperity if we behave in this manner? It takes sacrifice. And you go over there, and those African people, they are like Christian and Muslim, ridiculous. That's why I'm like, we have to take religion out of Africa because these people cannot be really religious. It's just a blanket to cover themselves, to cover the evilness, the wickedness. There's a lot of wickedness, a lot. Like people's been transformed. They don't even realize that it's wickedness. That's why we want for some people to be like, tell them the truth. Not maybe I'm not saying to go there and start like declaring war on people. That's not what I'm saying. But we have to be able to sit down and have a conversation and open people's eyes, just like they do sometimes in therapy. When they put you, they lay the truth. They don't tell you what to do, but they lay the reality in front of you, and you start saying things that you did not even think about initially. We need therapy, guys. We need therapy because even those people that engage in corruption in Africa want better for Africa. They just don't think far. They just don't know how. They just don't understand how. It's gonna take sacrifice. That means doing things without expecting people to pay you for it. You have a salary. I don't care if your salary is small. You accepted that salary. If I'm able to give you money for you to sign my paperwork, the guy is demanding a computer. Okay, Mark is gonna give him a computer. How about the Africans that's over there, the Tanzania that get paid $200 a month? That's even a good salary, to be honest with you guys.
Violate a law and say that you did just to try to get money at you. That's corruption.
Yeah. So is it any different when you walk into the store and you know the price and you want to get that price because you know everybody around you pays that price? You've asked people, you know it's the price. You've seen people pay it, you know it's the price. So when you get there and you tell them the price, they laugh and say,
America does that, man.
yeah, they do, but they're
Look,
doing
let me give you
it.
example.
It's not on a wide spread.
No, listen right here. Look, you go over into a prominent area with money and try to buy a BMW. That price is going to be different than when you go further away.
Go back to Africa. That's not the same thing. That's negotiation. If you're a good negotiator, you can get the price down. And you're talking about BMW. That's different. We're talking about like small necessity. In Africa, everything has to be a bargain. It's exhausting, even for me, African. It's exhausting. You cannot tell Africans it's okay because they already think that it's okay. It's not okay because the rest of the world don't function like that. They are the poor countries. Countries in Asia were at the same level with us. But see where they are now. What do you think? What do you think set us apart from those countries? It's our mentality. Our mentality. I feel like we don't have it. Like I feel as if African youth is like fatherless and motherless. They are orphan. They have no real role model. They have no real guideline. Okay, even when it comes to morality. I was watching a video of a Jew guy that was saying that, oh, he's gonna tell black people what the secret to successful business, and everything this guy talked about was related to morality. You have to be honest. You have to have integrity. You have to be rigid. You cannot just like be, like, I don't know, do anything. People have to be able to count on you, rely on you, trust your word. Corruption, to me, send me the vibe of someone that is desperate, okay? That has low moral value. Because if you render me a good, nice service, it's up to me to give you a how do you call that, incentive. I can give you an incentive. I can. Let people reward you for your good service. Don't ask them to pay you for you to that. What kind of person that makes you? You're only thinking about yourself. You're only thinking about yourself because the shopping mall that the guy is about to open is gonna help a lot of people. But you're gonna stop a project that's supposed to benefit a lot of people just because of you. And that's the mentality we grow up into, even in the family. Toxic.
Way than over place that don't have the big money.
Yeah. You
Why
are
the
right
pri-
about that.
But it's the same BMW car. Why am I paying more money? Because
But-
this area got the money.
But look at this. And this is the thing that America does to kind of sort of, this is one thing I can appreciate. Carfax, things like that. Now they're trying to educate consumers on what you should be paying. It'll vary, but it's not so much to the point where you feel like they'll give you a range now. I'm sure at one point it was like that, but go back, look at how the direction of the states is moving. People,
Carfax is
what do they
used
call it?
cars. Used cars. I'm talking about new cars.
Well, I'm saying Carfax. I just mean, what is it called? Perceptual market value of a product.
Yeah.
You know the general price for something for that area and all this stuff. And they, what do they call it? Fair Consumer Act or something like that, where they want you to be educated and you can't really be taken advantage of as a consumer.
Yeah.
That's something that is actively put in place.
No, it's not. It's there as so it looks good.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. You go to a car dealership, and the demand causes prices to go up. Right? Have you ever been? I've been to car lots before, and looking for a vehicle, but everybody wants that vehicle, and
And the price will go up.
that price is
But it's the
continually
same
going
for a
up.
house. But the thing is,
Prices continue going up. But you look at the manufacturer's retail price.
Yeah.
It's right there. What the
It's
cost
right
of
there.
it is. What it should be what its manufacturer's recommended price.
But go black, that's not the issue. Because when the price goes up, when you say the demand, that's supply and demand.
Yeah.
The price goes up for everybody. The corruption here is you look like you could pay more, you're gonna pay more. It's like more individualized. It's specifically targeted towards you. The corruption over there, if you're considering that to be the issue with that particular product, that car, 35 people want it. Guess what? It's higher for each of those people. It's higher for the whole, the collective. But when you come here, the tomato over there might cost more because you pulled up in a vehicle.
Well, I gave the example when I went with my daughter to go car shop, and they wanted to charge my daughter like, I can't remember, it was 13-14% interest.
Yeah, dealerships. I think I know what you mean. They'll change it.
But the
for
white dude
individuals.
who was over there hearing this whole thing came over and told me that he only paid 5% interest.
Was his credit better? Because now
I
that's a
don't- I
factor
don't-
too.
that might be, but then sometimes we already know.
Yeah.
We already know statistical data have shown black folk pay more for.
Okay, you see, Go Black is being disingenuous. How can you compare those two situations? Huh? How can you compare that? We're talking about corruption, you're talking about racism. That's two different ball games. You cannot, you're doing all this just to justify corruption in Africa. You're not doing Africa any service by trying to like defend corruption in Africa. It's not helping the Africans. Okay? Africa is rich, like Mike said, but Africans are poor mentally. Okay? Mentally poor, financially poor. The only thing that they have is the physical strength that some man comes here and brag with, as if the world live off that. Jem Joel say, as dusty as the place is, people will easily turn their back if it's too much hassle. Yes, Joel, sorry. Yeah, that's the whole point. So I'm really like, seriously. Yes, of course. That's what I always tell you guys over here on YouTube, that if I was American, I wouldn't be in Africa struggling to get through. I wouldn't. Because it's dusty and the mentality is not progressive. It's almost as if there's the rest of the world and there's Africa that's locked into this backwards, anti-progressive, like entire self-destructive way of thinking. No one want to elevate their thinking. They hate people that think. They hate visionaries. If you come with a vision, they slash that vision into 1,000. They're pessimistic. Oh, we've been doing it like this. What do you want to show us? You mean you more you more intelligent than us? Low self-esteem. unless it's a white person. If it's a white person, oh yeah, it came from heaven. Those ideas came from heaven. God gave him those ideas because he's the direct descendant of God. So yeah, he said that. Yeah, let's do it like that. But don't come over there looking like them and say something. They will not. So Mark, I don't know. You're very resilient. I don't know. You really carry that Africa in your heart. You're just like the Beck family. People that love Africa more than Africans. People like that, I'm always gonna support them. I understand Mike's disappointment. I understand him want to give up. I understand his his pain, his struggle, the hurdle. I understand all of it. We live that on the daily in Africa. You go to people's house sometimes, you see adults, grandchildren, jobless, sitting on top of each other, arguing over food because they have no access. And each person has a story. They're going to tell you how they started this business, and the tax collector will not stop coming every day to ask um for money. Even when you pay, even when you have all the checks, these people will still harass you. When you open a business, it's almost as if you have put a cake on the table for people to slash and eat. They don't care about your money. They don't care about you. They don't understand that this is maybe your whole life saving. You cannot compare that to America. Go black, be serious. Be honest. I know you don't like America, but you have to be honest. You have to be, you are a very level-headed person. That's why I like you. Because to me, you are the least emotional person out of, even when Mike was in Africa and was singing all the grace of Africa, I was just smiling. I'm like, keep going. When you guys go over there, I'm laughing. I'm just keep going. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go, 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 go. If you want to succeed in Africa, let me give you guys the secret. If you foreigner want to succeed in Africa, don't go to Africa and be on your own. African people love foreigners, whether rich or poor. They value foreigners. They want to be friends with foreigners, especially Americans. Oh, you guys don't know the power that you guys have, even Black Americans. You guys don't understand the power you have. When you get to Africa and you're American, when you say you're American, the mindset is going to change straight there. It's because you guys keep focusing on the negative. If you're strategic, you will use your origin as a leverage in Africa and you'll be successful. Hang out. You have to really create a network. You cannot succeed over there if you don't have the network at all. In Africa, it's all about who you know. Who you know. Create a connection. If you know African in America, before you even go, create connection with Africans. There are Africans that live in America and their family is part of that circle. I'm telling you, if you're ever lucky and find yourself in this circle, you are protected. Nobody cannot do nothing to your business. That means you know the child of this minister, or the child or the daughter of that minister, or the cousin of the minister, or the whatever. All those government official people, they have families. If you know someone from their family, that's the secret to success in Africa. Just getting your business off the ground and grow it and expand it by yourself without connecting with us is going to be hard. Trust me. But if you have a name that backs you, nobody can try you. Nobody's not going to try you. How do you think that Chinese succeed in Africa? They don't go to Africa and be like just doing things. No, 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 no. Nope. They have connection. You cannot even charge them. You go to court with them, they lock you in. They will lock an African person in, and the Chinese that was the perpetrator is gonna be released. These people have strong connection. They have backup. When you go to Africa, don't go and just think that, oh, it's like American, I can just like do my bit. That place can be evil. The mindset is the other mindset that like encourage people to succeed. No, it's not that type of mindset. It's a mindset that is locked into the 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 unwillingness to progress, to change. They don't like change. They don't like progress. They don't, and the reason why they don't like change is because they're scared that they might lose the control over. You know, the world is changing so much. There's certain things that they're not sure they can still be able to control. That's why they shut down any initiative. How do you say initiative that they believe can be beyond their control. Africa is like a, how do you call it? I just know the name in French. A chantier, a chantier. On appelle Rise Moise, if you're still here, what's the word in English? A chantier, chantier, chantier. Like when you're building the house and the place is still dirty, you haven't done to clean up, and it's like a construction zone, to be honest with you. These people want to maintain it like that because that's the only level they're able to control. If you go beyond that, they're lost. If it's the buildings start growing and you start like furnishing the building with newer technology, stuff like that, they lose control and they don't want that. All you come to my country, all the government officials are old. These people are at least 70. The youngest is 70. They don't want to see a young person coming in with young idea. They're scared they might lose control. They don't want that. They don't want that. Like they are there just to come to fight against that. Push back, push back, push back. And the reason why some people even engage in corruption in Africa because they have no choice. I was there, so I'm talking to you from experience. Okay, I'm giving you an insight. When you're there and you've been conditioned to only see things that way, it becomes a way of life. Like even when someone, like if you, oh my God, I don't even want to I don't want to say talk about personal experience, but I'm gonna have to. So last time I was in my country, I'm very scared of flying. I always like I got some Xanax when I was traveling, and I was sleeping. My babies was young; they were like 7 and I think they were 7 and 5. And the 7-year-old wanted to hold his passport, so I let him hold it. So we flew from New York to Paris, and we had a layover, and then we have to catch another plane. So I was so sleepy. And apparently my son left his passport in the plane that went from New York to Paris. I was still sleeping and still like not there 100%. When it was time to embark on the plane that was going to Douala, which is Cameroon, as the people, the airline people asked me to give the passport. It was 4 of us because my aunt was there. She was the one watching the kids when I was sleeping. I noticed that my son did not get a passport. He lost his passport. He forgot his passport on the initial plane. So when we got to my country, I don't know. When we got to my country, I had to make another passport, like for him. Oh my God, you guys have no idea what I went through. just for paperwork. Just for paperwork. Every single person want money from you. I mean, if they ask you to provide 5 paperworks, you're gonna prepare. If the 5 paperwork is gonna come from different people, the signature on it is gonna come from different. Prepare 5 different brabs. It was a hassle. After that, I was like, no, never again. I mean, even for and these people will ask you stuff like $1. Go back to Africa, it's like, oh, if it's just $1, it's not about the amount of the money, it's about the principle. Even the children are corrupt. What kind of children are we raising? If go back to Africa thing is okay. In America, they teach children morality. They say, don't do this, don't do that, don't. Even the children know that it's not the good thing to do. It's not good. Even if they're doing it, no way is perfect, but you have to have a standard. And there's always gonna there always gonna be other people that's gonna deviate from the standard, but you cannot make the deviation the standard. And that's what Go Black is about. It's kind of saying.
Everything.
But statistics also show black folk have worse credit.
Well, that in itself too is a setup.
Because remember what we were
That's
talking about in
racism.
Africa.
Credit
They're
scores
being
are
banned
racist.
from the UAE.
It's a racist system.
What did we do?
Look, credit
Because we
scores
know
is a
black folk don't
right.
know money well enough.
Look,
I ain't never had
True.
bad credit in my life. This is for me personally, and I am clearly African American.
look.
And I walked around.
The credit score is like
I walk into a dealership. They say you getting what's the percent? The good percent.
credit score is like your GPA.
Yes, it is.
It's a bunch of bullcrap.
Well,
The GPA.
you're right. It's
Why
a
am I saying
system
that?
created for
It's
in
a-
the favor of one people.
How is it that I got to compete against everybody around the United States? My child has to go to these colleges and GPAs when my child may not have gotten the material or the so-called the same materials through the textbooks that
Yeah.
some of these schools
Yeah.
got. That now my child is at a disadvantage for taking these tests, the ACT, the SAT, all of these scores that will hinder my child getting into the college maybe that they want to go to.
I think I agree with you, but then this isn't a matter of
It's corruption.
It's inequality, which is a form of corruption.
It's corruption.
I think
It's corrupt.
if we use corruption as a blanket term, then the specific instance that we're describing is this inequality. Because you're right, black people, and I don't have to tell you this, but for the people that don't know, in Africa especially, black people have been, and part of me says, the system is just there, and we just so happen to not fit into it, which you can say it's against us, or you can say we don't fit into it. Two different perspectives, because we were also talking about perspective, and 3 people could look at one thing and have 3 different views of it. So I think one way to look at it is, the system is in place, and we.
This right here is one of my 18 audiobooks that I own. It made 82 sales last month on all.
We as black people, throughout history, throughout whatever happened to us in the U.S., have been at a disadvantage, and that system never changed to meet our disadvantage. So we have to, like you said earlier, work extra hard. You got to fight twice as hard. They're going to be looking at you because they see you. You walk into the car dealership.
But you guys know what? At least you can fight hard and make it. In Africa, we're talking about opportunity. There's no opportunity. I don't know if you people understand that. I really don't like when African Americans keep comparing themselves to Africa. If we had the environment, if the only issue in Africa was to work hard, we will make it. That's the reason why we still make it in America. A lot of Africans make it in America because they have that drive. When you're coming from a place where you have nothing, when you have no opportunity, when you're even trying to just emerge, get your head from under the water and your head is knocked back into the water. When you get to a place where there's a freedom of competition, you don't look back. The difference between between us and other people is that because when you get here, you're ready to run the marathon, no matter what it takes. No matter what, there's no excuse. There's no looking back. There's none of that. That's all we need in Africa. You guys see a lot of people, a lot of young people trying to initiate project in Africa, but they are not encouraged. They are desperate. How do you say? Destabilized. They are destabilized. You know, on purpose. It can be because some person that doesn't like you that has the power. The power is used against their own people on a daily. It's nothing like American. We cannot even compare. That's why African youth are ready to. They say, either I die swimming the ocean to get to Europe, or I get there in full. But I'm not staying here in this country, in this hateful country. These people are hateful to their own people. You cannot compare. They don't even need the corruption. We used to have each other, but now it's just all about corruption. Because instead of asking me money that I don't have to follow my project, ask me about a service I can render to you. Ask me maybe, okay, can you maybe, I don't know if I'm you can ask for some skills that I have, and I can provide it to you as a thank you for my paperwork. But don't ask me for money. Money is what we are looking for.
They have a preconceived notion. This is a black person, and I don't always see it as like racist. It is a form of prejudice because it's hard not to see it. You know, statistically speaking, black people have worse credit. So of course you're going to look at them and show them the worst car first. It's not always right because that's not always the case for people. But it is to say that it's warranted and understandable as to why they do it. Is it fair? Not always, because I'll walk into a dealership and surprise the heck out of them. A young, at the time, like 18, 19-year-old walking into a car dealership with a decent chunk of change in his pocket and decent credit. And for them to say like, oh, you know what, let's show you these ones. I'm like, no, I want to look at the BMWs, right? And then we have a nice conversation and laugh about it. And I talk about how I know my credit. Right? It's the perspective is different to somebody who does have bad credit, walks into that same dealership, and because they have bad credit, they likely do not understand the credit system, and they feel like this person looked at me because I'm black. When really your credit's bad. I can't change the system. We don't want to give you a 2% interest on a 460 credit score. We can't do that. Our system, because now they have the algorithm that calculates it. Our system will not let us do that. Sometimes it's them saying, you know what?
System put in place to keep those from purchasing. No, everybody can walk out with a car.
Everyone.
Because
but black people are most likely not to be able to.
No, they'll walk out with it with a high interest rate.
A very high.
You can get any car. I found that out.
Is it
from
you
just
want
seeing
it?
People dirt poor who will pay 21% interest, and the bank don't mind loaning it.
So black people do have to pay more for a lot of things. They do have to work hard because now we have to prove ourselves, even in the workplace. You want to go higher as a black person, work twice as hard because they are already looking at you like your people are known to be lazy. Your people are known to be.
Exactly, Mark. I agree with you. Marks make the most sense out of this conversation. To be honest, Mark makes the most sense. Go black, no. You're getting too comfortable in Africa. Maybe it's time for you to come back to America. As corrupt as you said that America is, they still have a pretty high standard of morality that Africa lost. Not that Africa did not have. They did. They have even better, but they lost it. We have to be honest. Go black. I don't agree with you at all. You lost me on this one. You're not being genuine. Just because you're over there in America, in Africa, The only reason why you enjoy Africa is because you're American. Let me tell you that. It's because you're American. You have your dollars. That takes you a long way.
A little less educated. Your people are known to be this way. There's no way on earth we're going to go ahead and give you the same opportunity because we know you. Prove us wrong. That's not every white person, every other race is saying, you know, we're racist and we hate you. A lot of them are. But most of them have an ideology of.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree with that 100%. You cannot be walking around in America just thinking that everybody is out to get you. I don't think so, to be honest with you guys. I don't think so. I have had more better opportunity in America than in Africa. I have had more better opportunity thrown at me in America than in Africa. To be honest with you. I have even had more people being nice to me in America than in Africa. These people that have money in Africa are hostile, jealous. They want to be the only one. They don't want any competition. They're insecure. They're wicked towards the other people that are trying to climb the ladder. I don't know. I don't know why. I understand. Like me saying this doesn't mean that I don't understand the Americans, whatever goes on in America, you know. But trust me, it's still way better than what we have access to in Africa. A lot of people don't understand, don't want to tell the truth. Even those people that have money in Africa dream about sending their children in America because their mind is so damaged that they don't see any opportunity in Africa. That's why they loot the money and send it to Europe. Who will do something like that? If you really care about the future of your children, will you just loot all the money in your country and send it to a country that already has a better economy than yours? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense.
Prove me wrong. I proved so many white people wrong in my life. I walked into interviews. I think there's 2 interviews in my life I haven't got the job. You get in there with personality, and how y'all doing? Y'all want to be a part of the conversation? Okay, I like the tie. But you have to prove them wrong. I'm not saying every situation is perfect. There are people who are prejudiced towards you and hateful towards you. They dislike you for the fact that you are an African American, for the fact that your skin looks like
Let's
this.
bring it back
but there
here.
are people who just want you to prove them wrong.
Okay.
And I tell you, I proved some people wrong in my life.
So your challenge here in Africa, in Tanzania, was that the corruption was very frustrating for you to kind of get things accomplished, to try to get things rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
So that actually it was something you said even kind of set you back a little bit mentally. It dealt with you. You had to deal with it. And you had to leave Tanzania to come in to take a breath into another country.
Yeah.
Because it really was that it bothered you that bad.
Yeah.
Share with the people.
I think part of it was I cared too much. And when you, I thought they were singing Howard's birthday or something.
So go ahead, answer my question.
How do I put it? Because that's a tricky one. Because it really is like a gradual thing. It's not all at once you realize it. It's over time you realize. How do I answer your question?
Just tell it like it is.
To be honest with you, the thing, like I said, the thing that bothered me, and this is a personal thing, and this goes to anybody. When you want to do something and you see it's not working out, you get frustrated. That's all that happened. At its basic level, that's all it was. I had an idea, I had a goal, and I had an idea of how it was supposed to work out. Guess what? It didn't work out that way. Who's not going to get frustrated? Now, what you do when you're frustrated is the real question. Some people get frustrated and they leave. Others get frustrated and they take a break. I got frustrated and I took a break. When trials come, you have to either face them head on. They say what? Be like water.
Who's they?
They, as in, okay, you're right. Let me specify. When trials come, you have to do one of 2 things. Stand strong or
run.
run. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can run. Let's think about it
Or-
like
or
people talk about
relax and
spiritual
chill.
warfare.
Yeah.
People talk about spiritual warfare. So let's put it in a perspective for the people that need a spiritual example. In spiritual warfare, let's think about it as actual warfare as well. When you're on the front line, and you can tell me more about this, the military, man, but let me see if I can wrap my head around it in an understandable and practical way. You can be under fire. You can do a few things, right? You can stand there and fight back. You can recognize that you need to go regroup, aka retreat. They say what? A good general knows when to retreat. You don't always have to power through it. Some people left Africa. Some people powered through it. Some people retreated and they plan on coming back. Whatever you do, it's okay. Because who's to tell you that you leaving is a sign that you failed? What was your goal? I don't know your goal. Maybe that was a part of your plan. But for the most part, whatever you think, you're right. And I don't want to say everyone's right in what they think, but to you, you're not wrong. You did it because you have your reasons. I don't know you well enough to tell you what you did was right or wrong. That's you. And I'm going to trust that you have enough sense in your mind to know what's right for you, because I don't. I'm not you. You can't tell me what's right for me. If I decide to get up and leave Africa and never come back and just go and live in suburbia America, who on earth is to tell me I made the wrong choice? You don't know me. You don't know why I did it. You don't know anything about that situation, but you have people actively attacking the people who left. And I was starting to become one of them to some degree until I had to step back and say, wait a second, hold on now. You actually left for a reason that was like self-preservation. You're not supposed to destroy yourself for someone else. You're not supposed to go and ruin yourself because you wanted to do something for someone else. You give everything you have until there's nothing left of you.
So you mentioned, but you made mention that you was trying too hard to help you.
I was trying way too hard to help people. I had to step back from helping people. My biggest issue was not the fact that, because helping is not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. If I choose to spend every dime I have helping people, I'm not wrong. But what I was doing was I had multiple missions. I said, I want to help people and I want to do this. Well, you have to pick one first until you're in the position to do both. What I was doing was both at the same time. I was helping people, doing business, and looking for opportunity in addition to trying to find people who had a different perspective. It was too much. And some people can do it, but I wasn't one of them. And so I had to realize what I was doing, sit down with myself, meditate.
More I am. What's
and
up,
say,
brother, man? That's gone. More I am.
Where are the updates on the project?
More I am said he has a disability.
Who?
More I am.
Me.
I don't know if he's talking about you or not.
Oh,
More, where are you at, man?
Yeah.
I think he was in Asia last I checked.
When you're new, they'll take advantage of you. But
Yeah.
people are opportunities.
So okay. So where you are at? Where are you today, right now? You know, because you went through some stuff. You went through you went through your frustration. You digressed. You retreated.
Yeah.
You're trying to regain your strength. And so how are you going now moving forward?
We're still doing what we do. I can do what I do from anywhere, to be honest with you. It's just putting people in place that have integrity is a very difficult thing. And not to say nobody has integrity, but it is to say it's a grain of sand in an ocean. It's not a common.
Listen, you guys listening, I'm telling you, little by little, you guys gonna one day come on this YouTube and say thank you to me. Like every single thing I predicted, it's happening. Because Mark is one of the people that were come to Tanzania. Africa is great. Africa, blah, 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 blah. I was just smiling. I always tell you, this is where I stand, and I stand firm on my conviction. Until Africa decide to do right by Africans, nothing is gonna. They can try to put a paint, like they say, like when you put a lipstick on a pig, it still remain a pig. That's Africa. Until these people change their way of thinking, it's the mindset, and that's the most difficult thing to say to change, because these African people, when it comes to thinking, their thinking is very limited. They are very short-sighted. Short-sighted, not because they cannot think bigger, but because the local culture is like that. Everybody is doing the same thing. And African people only live by doing what other people are doing. Nobody is thinking outside of the box. That's not something that's encouraged. When you get them with new idea, they will they will fight you. They hate new ideas. They're against evolution. Like the way the truth hit Mike, Mark, the way the truth hit Mark, oh my God, he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for it. Like the guy almost got into depression. From what I can see, it hit him very hard, unbelievable. When he was in Tanzania, over there helping the homeless people and all that, how that's nobody cares. Like those Africans don't care if you're helping those children at all. They don't care whether it's the government or there, because if these people were serious, they would have even like funded. It would have been a good opportunity for them to come hand to hand with Mark and really help him put that project in place. No, they don't care. In Africa, as long as it's not your family or your friend going through stuff, nobody cares. They don't care. That's just the mentality. Mentality of now, just me, now. That mentality has to change.
Thing, especially over here, when you have people that don't typically have anything and they have a lower moral standard culturally, where it's like okay to lie, cheat, and steal, it is more accepted over here. It's not to say everyone does it, but it is to say you can't deny the fact that you come over here and there's less integrity. Yeah, you can go to the States and people can rip you off and cheat you and lie to you. But in my experience, and you can only speak from your experience, that hasn't happened to me in America. I never had an issue doing business in America. I didn't walk around get lied to and cheated to on a daily basis. I didn't walk into a store and have to yell at somebody because I know the price of a bottle of water and they want to say it's something else. That didn't happen. So I didn't have that stress. I come over here and you find yourself in a position where you're always stressed out.
Hey, real estate investors, Grant Cardone here. I own $4.4 billion worth of real estate around the.
Something's going wrong. Somebody's trying to do something. Somebody wants something. And eventually you're like, okay, there's too many hands. You got to start slapping them away. And so for me, I started like, no.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Mark. That is the truth. And you guys are even lucky because you don't have an African family. Wait until like it will have been you it will have taken you being African and going to Africa. You cannot even breathe. Because the first people that will like strangle you will be your own family. Every single freaking person expects something from you. They expect something from you. And if you don't give it to them, they start bad mouthing you around the neighborhood. They wish you they wish you bad luck, stuff like that. They gang up against you. They ostracize you in the family. They talk about how stingy you are. Huh? You come from America and you cannot help people. I mean, like, ooh, it's overbearing sometimes. The people that I love, Africa, this, Africa, that, I always tell people it's better nowhere. Africa has a lot to overcome, a lot, and it's getting worse. When you guys over here on the internet acting as if Africa has figured it out, they figured it out a long time ago, but they lost it because they're that gullible, they're that naive. They lost everything. The way Africa is heading, they will be worse than United States in 200 years. In 200 years, it's gonna be worse than United States. It's just gonna be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Wait and see. When this YouTuber come here and lie and pretending, and that's the thing with African people. They don't fall. Is that how you say in English? Foresight thing. They don't see things from far at all. They wait until things hit them and like, oh, I can picture Africa in like 100 years. It will be like, I don't even know, Sodom and Gomorrah.
You know, and do for you, right? How can you do for anyone, like you said earlier? How can you do for anyone when you haven't done for yourself? If you're not at 100%, you have nothing to give.
You know, I find that most people who are desperate are the ones who fall either to scams, being used,
Yeah.
and taken advantage of. And I tell people, what's the rush?
What is the rush?
Don't be rushing to come to Africa to start no business. Don't come to Africa rushing to try to find you your mate. Don't rush to come to Africa to try to establish, these different endeavors that one might have. I still say is sit still, get to know the culture, get to know the people. I was talking to a brother while I was over in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
He's in mining. He said he's lost hundreds of thousands of dollars and have not made a profit in mining because of being scammed.
Too much.
And I'm like,
Sometimes it's by the government.
well, I'm like, this is my thing is that you mean to tell me that you haven't gotten it yet and knowing how the people are?
Yeah.
Because most people who have little to nothing are in desperado mode. They're desperate mode.
Yeah.
So those type of people will lie and tell you anything to get that money out of your pocket.
Yep.
So
I'm sorry.
yeah, we all caught up in the
I'm
radio.
ignoring these comments.
See, Mark, he always get caught up with people talking about. Stop. We got to talk about that. Stop caring about what people say.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that this is what he claimed. He spent millions of dollars to get his equipment over here. Went on a couple business ventures, got scammed, and I'm like, and being frustrated. And I'm like, why are you frustrated?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you don't know where you stand? You are circled around. People are circled around you who are poor. There are those people, even if they have a house, a nice car, whatever, they ain't going back there to poverty. There are people who are looking for people like you, opportunity slapped on your forehead, and they were going to try to get what they can without you. See, me, I navigate very, very, very softly. Even when I go shop, I don't go buy the first fruit from a stand that don't have a price on it. I just don't do that. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't gotten taken advantage of, but I'm saying though, that's minuscule.
Yeah, what Go Black is saying is very true. And that's why I always prefer Go Black than any other person over there in Africa, because I see the way he moves. He's not somebody that I get easily impressed and desperately looking for a an escape. He doesn't he put people to test, to be honest. He takes his time, and he doesn't always believe what people are telling him uh the first time. He goes, he investigates, and he found out for himself, and he goes down to the business. He always goes to the people, the poor people, and the local. It's very important. If you want to know a place, go to the local. Don't listen to those people from good family that look down on the poor in Africa, giving you their opinion on what's going on because some of these African, even the African in the foreign country that are abroad, they don't even really know the reality of Africa, most of them, because either their parent took them out of their earth before. They did not experience that low, very poor life. They don't know that. So when they're giving their opinion here on the internet, it's just based on their own experience. It's not even accurate. You want to know the reality, you go there, you speak to the people. The people, that's why I like Go Black. He speaks to the people, not to those people that are rich that from America or from Europe that will lie to you and get you to venture into something that's going to cause you to lose money. You guys be careful.
Look, if you're gonna squeeze 2 pennies out of me and charging me more than the next person, okay, all right, you got me. You got me for $5. All right, if you got me for $10, okay, all right, you got me.
Yeah.
But, and for the most part, most people don't do their homework, they don't do their research, and they get themselves caught up in this mess, and then they lose.
Yeah.
These are people who, before they left America, wasn't even doing business.
Yeah.
These are people who don't even know how to budget their money, finance. They don't understand those type of things, but want to come to Africa and do it.
Yeah.
And then yet expect that they're going to get great deals to go ahead and on their business ventures and think that everybody's going to love them and help them to see them succeed. No.
Ooh-wee. You are living a dream.
That is not happening. It's going to take time. Look, I know people who paid $2,000 to get them a resident visa in Tanzania.
I know people that paid $4.
I paid $100. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I was patient and trying to get to know people.
Yeah.
Checking how their credibility is.
Yeah.
Their trust is. So that when people walk in your path, then you know where they stand. I'm not giving money to people. I don't know who your family is, where you live. You mean to tell so there are just people who they want the money. They want the. I'm gonna start a business. I need a business right now.
Right now.
Oh, I need to make the money. I need to make the money right now. And people, they know that.
Yeah.
They
can sense it.
They hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some land. I'm trying to find an apartment. I'm trying to find a house. I'm trying to have a house built. I'm trying to just right. Oh yeah. Oh well, I got beachfront property in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And if you go to Las Vegas, thinking you're gonna get some beachfront property.
Beachfront.
in
Las Vegas.
And so many people will fall to that scam.
Yeah.
And they will fly to Las Vegas, not knowing it's stuck in the middle of America and don't have no beaches. This is the mindset.
Not even a lakefront property.
Not a lakefront, a beachfront. Because there are people who are ignorant.
I tell you, it's in front of the Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
How does that work?
And won't even look on the internet.
Yeah.
They can't even look on the internet. Because the internet will even show you how much a piece of fruit costs, how much a bottle of milk costs. Go on the internet.
I think one thing about Africa, I will say this, is there's not much information on it. Now there might be, but I know when I came here, if I did want to look it up, you couldn't find out anything because people weren't talking about it.
All you got to do is walk to a local and say, how much does a mango cost?
And then you have a lot of locals that'll sit there and say, I don't know. Because they're looking at that. Well, if you ask them away from the seller.
No, I ain't talking about when
they try to help each other out.
I'm not talking about right there next to the stand. No, we're talking about in your place where you live. If you can't connect with the locals to ask them, okay, hey, what's the average for milk? I'm about to go to the store. How much does mangoes cost? They will tell you. I've never had that problem.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I always do this when I come into countries.
Yeah.
I always ask the people in the airport, how much does it cost from here? I'm going to this hotel. How much does it cost for taxi ride?
Yeah.
Because them taxi drivers, when you walk out of that airport,
Good
they're
luck.
hovering around you. Taxi. Hey, you want to go?
They'll be grabbing your arm. Come with me. Taking your bag off. Come with me. 2 people pulling you in each direction.
No, they don't do that with me. I got a mean mug.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though, so you had to go through this process of wanting to help people, but you find that you get roadblocks because people are trying to use you for the money or trying to get you to get through things before they will even complete the task for you.
And the one thing people have to realize about an African, they will wait you out. And most of the times they'll win. They know how to wait. People say Africans are short-sighted. Some of them know how to wait.
Africans don't wait me out. I'm telling y'all, I win all the time because I'm patient.
Yeah.
I'm patient. Look, I tell you this right here. When you go in the stores, come on now, they give you a price, and I'll be like, no, I ain't paying that out. Okay, sir. What about nope?
What do you want to pay? They start asking.
They're always chasing me. So
think you make a good point.
What's your direction, man? We know you here in Zambia, and Mark, you about to you're going back to Tanzania shortly.
Yeah, very soon.
And so you're gonna complete your projects that you got going, or
Yeah,
what?
we got one more. It's the Merge Micro Village. We'd like to do it in Moral Grove. We have somebody out there already doing something, so we're just going to join on to there. Because we tried to do a lot in Tanzania, and some of it didn't really go well. Just because, and this is how it happens. You can't guarantee anything in life, especially not with dealing with a different perspective, the radically different perspective sometimes. And so we're going to do that. We're going to finish up over there with a few micro villages. And the concept is essentially a small community of people, and they have their own little mini economy in that thing. We'll do a few of those, so we don't have to do too much more over there. We'd like to merge.
If you're a woman over 40 and you want to lose belly fat, stop doing endless workouts. Want to know why those crazy
Project East Africa. So I want to expand. We'll just do smaller projects.
What's Merge?
Merge is the company we have there.
Tell us about Merge. What does it do?
Oh, it's supposed to be a diaspora hub. It's supposed to be the entry point for people who want to come, right? To make it easy for you to get here and be.
Yeah.
I think the problem is when you deal with, and this is just me being honest, like you said, are African Americans, most of them. And I'm putting this as gently as I can, but the truth is the truth. They don't come with many resources, right?
Many don't have it.
They don't have it. So it's hard when your market is people with no resources.
So
You're not going to get very many.
I keep understanding this. I thought people were just being like mean to African Americans. Like African Americans go to Africa without many resources. Guys, please don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't uproot your life from America and go to Africa without resources. Why do you think we Africans are stuck in the West? It's because of resources. Like if I have money, if I had a shop in Africa that can generate income like on a daily to allow me to live without stressing out, I'll be gone like yesterday. One of my biggest regrets is to raise my children in America, but I have no choice. What am I gonna do? That's why I will never sit on YouTube over here and defend Africa. Africa has done wrong to their own children and is continue to doing wrong to us. We would have rather be there, living there, enjoying the life that we know, our culture that we know, everything that we know. We have to leave it behind to come to the West because the environment is not the one to allow people to progress and to have a quality life. So do not, please, African Americans, please, my brothers and sisters, don't go to Africa if you don't have the means to sustain yourself. Like if you can set up a business in America, I'm just saying a business of like, even if it's $500 a month that you get, oh, you will live a good life over there, a peaceful, stress-free. And you know when you're stress-free, that's when your creativity kicks in. You know, you can live a good life for a single person if you have just $500 a month coming in. But don't go over there with limited resources. You're going to be back to America. And I don't even see a lot of people that went to Africa. I don't know if they're all bad. All those people that were in Tanzania. I know some of the lady got pregnant. I don't know. I'm sure they have a baby already. but I don't see a lot of people. I remember 2 years ago where everybody was dissing America for Africa. I'm like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You think we guys are in America because we want to be in America? Before you go to Africa, you have to have your feet, like, you have to have your toes. You have to be like 10 toes down, solid. You have to be. If you have that, oh my God, you live the dream over there. Just like Go Black. Go Black is living the dream. If Go Black wasn't married and was about the life of like just like woman and all that, oh my God, there's nowhere else in the world he's gonna have women for cheap than Africa.
Yeah, you guys can finish the thought. So we'd have to go by volume, right? And there's enough of us coming that the business model works. But we'd like to finish up in Tanzania. And so in the next few weeks, I'd say maybe, because I'll be there pretty soon. The next few days, I'll be there. So I think maybe 2 weeks, we'll have the first micro village going, something to announce, something to show. And then we can just let that
when
be.
you say going, what do you mean going?
Going as in, set up and ready for people to come.
Are there, what is it, pre-existing homes already there or something?
I wouldn't even call it that. It's just the concept of being able to be somewhere and have it be your community, right? Whether that's a pre-existing home, whether that's, you build it from scratch.
No, you said there's people there.
Oh yeah,
having things doing what? I mean,
the organization that we want to work with has already got some things going on that particular land. So it's not like we're building from scratch. Okay. Building from scratch is a whole nother demon, especially over there. Ooh wee, ooh wee.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, I tell you, it's exhausting. Right? 2 years. Come on now.
Well, like you said, when you want to help people, I mean, and for what you're talking about, this merge project, you have to go in and find which avenues are the most smoothest. So you're going to come up against resistance, because that's where you find what's the best route for people to come in, connect with, and all that there.
Yeah.
So that challenge that you're trying to get through, that door doesn't open up. This one right here is going to try to use you, but this is the most smoothest route. So this is what you are the forerunner in doing for this whole project.
And I will say, it took longer than we expected. I had a projected
expectations is what kills drive.
Yeah, but when you push something onto people, they want to have a time.
It's not about the people; it's about what are you able to do.
You know how people are. Well, you said this.
That's why I don't mess. That's why I don't mess with people's money.
But how do you build? If we are people with little resources, how do you build? Sometimes you gotta kind of sort of take that bullet, right? It's one of those things where it's like it's not the preferred thing. They say what? Do what you have to do in order. Okay.
I'm gonna hit him with who's they.
Yeah.
We walk around talking about who's they. Who said that?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
talk about Mark. Let's talk about Mark. No, I don't want to hear about.
Okay, I'll say this.
You talk from where you are. That's our problem. We keep regurgitating this garbage that may not even be true.
Well, I say like this. I've taken some truth from it because I heard it from somebody in my life.
Okay.
And the idea, the philosophy is essentially do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do.
True.
A lot of people
to a certain extent, depending on the individual.
Yeah, but some people, they do the thing that they want to do right away, which requires a lot more resources and effort, instead of doing something that's going to get them to that point. This is part of the Black problem of not being financially literate and planning. Because you look at these businesses, a lot of these Chinese owned, they don't like soul food. So why do they have so many soul food? This is in Las Vegas. Why do they have so many soul food chains?
I didn't find a line out there.
They're not called Chinatown soul food. There's one place in
oh, you're talking about China soul food?
Yeah. No. They're African soul food places. African American. They're called and it'll be something where you think it's owned by an African or African American, right? You think it's owned by someone who's a part of that culture, only to find out it's not. Yeah. And what they do is they do what works, not what they want to do. Because I'm sure they have dreams and goals and ambitions, but they're doing what's going to make the money. What we find ourselves, or at least what I find myself.
Oh, La Raza Africana. How do you do that? I'm interested. I would love to have a house in Republic, Dominican Republic. I watch an African American guy. I think he doesn't reside there, but he's building like a I think he's in an apartment complex. His name is he's in Sosua, I believe. I think the name of it. And his name is Rick, I believe. Sosua. I would love to have a house down there in Dominican Republic. Oops, I went back. Sosua, I think that's how he says it.
Like yourself, you came hitting the ground running. For me, I thought you did a great job of really saturating yourself with the locals. I mean, you speak the language.
Yeah.
You in there, but also what caused you a big friction is the culture.
Yeah.
You know what we were talking about earlier. You know, you stand for being honest.
Yeah.
Here, honesty is not looked upon like we see
It's
honesty.
not a virtue.
Word lying is not like a word in something.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer.
These countries is whatever come at your mouth in time at the moment is what you say, and they don't see it as even lying.
Yeah.
Not at all. You tell a person that can you do this or do that, and it's like, yeah. Well, in their mind, they're not lying. They can do it. It may not be to your specification. It may not be perfect.
You see, right here, I did not like that Go Black. Stop it. I don't know why Go Black is talking like this. Lord have mercy. Those people are liars. Even when they cannot do what you're asking, they're still gonna say yes. Because that's how desperate they are. They lack proud. They are liars. Go Black. Stop it. Stop covering. They are liars. Liars, pens on fire.
Professionally done, it may not be, but in their mind, they can do it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there are some that just right out just will say anything. That's a culture in some of these places. Just say anything, just to get that dollar. And well,
That's
just
another
look
type
you
of
in
thing.
your eyes, won't even blink,
Yeah.
and tell you yes.
Didn't I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you guys that these African people, that's how they act? If you set foot in Africa, be careful what people tell you. These people just like trying to get the most out of you. You gotta be smart. It's not even really hard to navigate if you know the culture. Like people like us, we know. Oh, when you get over there, we are faced with the same challenges when it comes to the people. We are faced with the same challenges. Don't think that they don't do it to us. It's just the culture. It's the culture of like lie until you make it. Lie until you make it. Fake it until you make it. That's the culture. And it's acceptable. If you're over there crying that somebody lied to you, they will be laughing at you. They'll be like, oh, he got you. He got you. They will be like congratulating the person that lied to you. They'll be like, oh, you're such a good liar. Wow, you good. You're good. So basically, they're over there celebrating like the talent of lying. You have to be a good liar if you want to make it. That's how it is.
or no, and it's not the truth
At all.
at all, just to get that dollar. And won't even flinch and won't even think anything wrong with it. That's when you understand the culture.
Yeah.
Now you're being wise to that. Now you don't fall for the game. We call it the game. So I mean, getting into a place, sitting down, sitting still, stop trying to come up in here and trying to start businesses, stop trying to get out here and help people. Let Africa help you understand its culture.
Yeah.
And when you understand it, you know who you're dealing with.
But you know, Go Black, just like you said, we African Americans carry a sickness with us.
Okay, Go Black. I agree with you saying that, but that is not helping. That is not helping. I thought we were brothers and sisters, and you guys were coming to help us. I always say that the only way that I believe you guys should help Africa is in that way. Help them change their mindset. Help them open their mind to see bigger than what they're seeing now. To me, that's the way to help Africa. I really don't like people that go to Africa for charity. I don't like charity. Africa doesn't need charity. Africa need people that will help them unlock their mind. Their mind is locked into post-colonial way of thinking. The colonizer left, but still live in their mind.
They carry another sickness.
Yeah.
Right? There's a disease of the black mind. And it's no matter where you go, you notice the struggles we face over here and the struggles we face in the States, whether we're African or African American or African European. Isn't it funny how they're all the same? It's a financial struggle we always have. It's a self-destructive behavior. It's the fact that we can't unify.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we attack one another. All of these are the same issues they have in Africa with the unification and the scamming one another and getting over and all that stuff. That's the issue they have. You go to the States and say, wait a second now, we have the same problems. So it's almost like, and when people say there's an agenda against black people, I mean, I never doubted that, but you know, to what degree? People say it, but they refuse to believe it in a practical sense.
I see it different in Africa than in America. I don't see it the same. I really don't. I don't see it the same. You know, I see Africa in its infant stage. Infants don't know and understand. You know what I'm saying?
No.
We've been living America man's way for a long time. You know, this whole money thing and, you know, these buildings and these developments that are happening. I mean, Africans are trying to still understand this whole thing. How does it operate? You know what I'm saying? 50 years old. I mean, when they say the majority of the population in Africa is between is
The
up
average
to
population of Africa
the age
was
of
19 years old. The
Yeah,
average population of
the
the
age.
entire continent is 19.
it's like 19 years old. It's still an infant.
Youngest population in the world.
That means their parents or their grandparents are ignorant to the ways of doing business, how to do developments and all of these things. So my thing is that you got to understand the culture.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, Go Black. Whatever you just said right now is the absolute truth. It's the absolute truth. But how do we help African people see and understand the world if you're going to come to Africa and advise Mark to just engage in corruption so that he can get his project on the ground running? So how? And now you contradicting yourself, to be honest with you. You telling Mike to understand the culture. Yeah, he understand the culture. Is that a culture that's gonna really help Africa move forward? Is that a culture that's gonna what you just described? I agree to that 100%. African people don't know better. They do not know better. They do not know better. For real. They don't understand the world. They don't see what's coming against them. They're over there kicking and laughing and embracing everybody. They don't know. They don't understand. These people don't understand nothing.
it's when things are done in ignorance, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Just don't know. You know, we got our countries starting to develop. You got these businesses coming in. We got all of these different, the governments that we have that been put in place here 50 years ago still, haven't resolve.
Yeah.
We don't know how to really run this democracy government that they put on it. We got tribes and people of different backgrounds. We got Muslims in our country, Christians in our country. We got all of these religions in our. How do we figure this out?
Yeah.
This is totally different than when you have, America, for instance, it says black people have no place, so we don't have to worry about them. Yeah. We have to worry about all these European immigrants who are coming in, and how can we get all of them to be on one accord? Because you got the Scottish man, the Irish man, you got the German man, you got the Spanish man, you got the Italian man, you got the Russian man. All of these people started flocking into America. The only way we can get these people to be all on the one accord is call them white.
Yeah. They unified themselves in that sense.
What? We're white.
Yeah.
The natives, the blacks, forget them.
There's something else.
So now we got some place now where we can go ahead and create and develop off the backs of the people who are the slaves. We can all win.
Yeah.
We're in the forefront. You're white. You're more important. That means you don't have to be busy fighting each other, because now we established white is white. We don't care if you're Irish, Ireland, you're whether from Britain or all of this stuff. No, you're white. Matter of fact, you see this land, y'all. On your mark, set, go. Go for it towards the west. Put your stake in the ground. Get what's yours.
As much of it as you can.
Get as much as you can. It's yours.
Yeah.
And guess what? The railways are coming your way, and we're going to create jobs for you, and we're going to have things for you. But this labor stuff that's going to be done to make that happen is going to be free off of their backs.
Yeah.
But then what happens? Now, all of a sudden, you got a Martin Luther King in his right heart wanted to try to bring a people or integrate a people, but not realizing it was going to be destructive.
Yeah.
Because the backside of that was that, yes, people will be able to branch out and move into white areas eventually.
Yeah.
They're going to be working in white jobs and all that right there. But please tell me, what was the difference between you working in this place now than when you were in the black neighborhoods? Black people had houses on the black side.
I think
had cars on the black
this
side
thing
of
is
town. So why is it
what they're talking about now has nothing to do with
it made it worse.
Yeah.
Because now people are divided within the black community. Do you have a link to your projects?
I can find one, yeah.
They want to know what your projects are.
Oh, poor Mark. I really feel bad for Mark.
But I say,
I really feel bad for Mark, because he embarked into something he did not know. Yeah. I was just saying to him, helping all those homeless children off the street, And I was like, oh, Mark, you have such a good heart. But that place is going to really encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. Because these people are haters. There's no more hater of an African person than African government. African government, African people, population. These people need to heal. They need like a mass therapy. We need therapists to come to Africa and help Africa change their mind. They have a damaged mindset. Very damaged mindset. Low self-esteem, always thinking that somebody that's succeeding is out to get them. Someone that succeeds, someone that looks like them and that is succeeding. I'm not talking about other people. They worship Chinese and anyone else, but not their own. So I really feel bad for Mike. I hope he goes back to Tanzania and get I don't know. Go Black told him to just go back to Tanzania and just buy the guy the computer so that he can carry his projects and move forward with everything. So he said he's gonna think about it.
give it a few weeks, they'll see the project in morgue, or they'll start it their way. I'm gonna try it my way a little more first. I don't want to lose faith I don't lose faith in humanity.
Question of Mark, are you happy doing what you're doing? Are you happy doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I think the idea is one that brings me joy. But I think, again, back to the same argument that when you're trying to get something done and it's not working out because of difference in standards and ideology, yeah, it's frustrating. I'm very frustrated. I'm not upset doing what I'm doing, but I am frustrated at times because, again, I'm trying to do things the right way. And you get demonized for doing it the right way. You got people saying, "Oh, why isn't it done?" And then you have other people saying, "Well,
Until you stop dealing with people,
do it their way."
So somebody asked, did you recently finish college?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
You didn't go to college.
haven't even.
College is life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are indoctrinated into the system. But it's a good thing that in the U.S. people are moving away from the idea that you only need college to become successful. It's not always true for everybody.
It's not always true.
I wish that person was
We're in Zambia.
That's a person that wants attention.
Of course.
I don't like the sound of gunshots. He almost crashed into the wall doing that. Or I think something. I don't know, maybe.
How do you live in Africa but make money around the world?
Are they asking you or me?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
What happened to the project in Doc? Still going. I think, okay, I'll give more updates. That's my biggest thing. I need to give more updates.
And I told Mark, don't be taking people's money now.
Yeah.
If you ain't got people,
If you're not giving updates.
if you ain't giving updates and you ain't seeing the finished product on right there,
Yeah.
because I'd be dagged somebody come calling me talking about you scamming.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, guys, give it a week. I'll be back in Tanzania. I'll show something.
All right, I think I came to the end of this video. I don't know, let me read the comments a little bit. So what do you guys think? You guys think that Go Black gave Mark a good advice by telling him that he should just he should just engage into doing what the people do in the country. And who is upset over white people? Jem, Joel, who is upset over white? The way Go Black to Africa talks about America, he talks about America as if there's no opportunity in America. I don't know why people get so caught up. Even though America is what it is, and the corruption, and no, not the corruption, the racism and all that, let me tell you guys, it's still way better than a lot of other countries in the world, around the world. The reason why you guys don't understand other countries around the world dealing with racism is because no one even talk about it. It goes unnoticed. Nobody talks about it. America is the only place where everybody is allowed to speak, and people really speak up against injustice. In other countries, you cannot even talk as a Black person. Even in Europe, it's awful over there. Over there is normalized. Racism is normalized. So when it happens to Black people over there, they don't even speak up. I don't think so. I don't think you understood him well, Jem Joel. What Go Black is telling him is he's telling Mark to just go with the flow and with the culture. You know, he's just saying that he should just do what the African do. if it's gonna take corruption for him to get his project off the ground, just do it, because everybody else is doing it. That's what Go Black is telling him, because Mark was so offended by how bad, how rampant the corruption was in Tanzania, that he was so frustrated that he left and went to get Zambia. Just to get to take a break. I don't think. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. I always tell people America is one of the is one of the only country in which you can speak up that the way. There's so much freedom of expression. Ourselves, like African in Africa, are being oppressed, and they cannot even speak against it. You cannot speak against the oppression that you live in Africa as an African. You guys come over there and live good because you are foreigners. The local African will not say the same. The local African don't have the same advantages that you guys have. Go Black was talking about how in United States, Black people don't have the same advantage as others when it comes to like credit score and interest rate and all that. Come to Africa, please, guys. Come to Africa. You're gonna see that the poor have nothing. Like everything is taken from them. All they have is just obligation. They don't have any right. They cannot protest against anything that's being used to oppress them. Even the price of things like commodity just increase, and they cannot complain. You complain, you're gonna be shut down. Your family is gonna be persecuted. You cannot. Only in America that people speak up against injustice. Even Africans that come to America and sometimes speak up against injustice, they can only do it here. When they go home, they cannot even try. The system is evil. Evil. When they talk about racism in America, I don't know how you would call what's going on in Africa. Like the African government being against their own people. I don't know how you call that, because the government's supposed to be like for the people. As much as you guys blame, have a lot of blame for the government in America, I don't see the American government being against Americans. I don't. I do not. I'm yet to see that. Even the way they speak, they don't speak against America. I'm telling you, in Africa, they speak against you, flat out. They threaten you, and it becomes systematic. You know, it's a systemic oppression against the Africans in Africa. They're basically telling you that this is your living condition, and that's what it's gonna be. You can not do anything against it. You have to buy anything. You have to pay to even to graduate. If not, somebody's gonna like punish you out of nothing. You piss somebody off, oh my God, the person seizes your degree, anything that you were pursuing, your business, or like. James Joel say, I do believe Mark should stay, but hopefully he gets a team together and just be very serious about your business like other nationals. You have to have people. Even the nationals have people. You have to have people. Mark has to, if he want to succeed in Tanzania, he has to get into the system. What you do, you can buy your way into the system, which is corruption, or you can befriend someone that's in the system. Okay. You say, yes, that's why you have to research a place and see if the laws is something you can deal with, not just up, not jump up, go and complain later. No, listen. In Africa, right, there is law that's on the paper, and there's law that's the way of doing things, way of life. Don't forget, African system is a carbon copy of European system, okay? European during colonization were running things the way the father country or the mother country in Europe does. So when they left the same law and structure there. But the African people are conflicted because we have our way of perceiving life, which is our traditional way, and we have this other way that was imposed on us. And we go back and forth between the two ways. So you have law in Africa, they don't work. Nobody reinforce them. Nobody is following the laws because they always treat you depending on who you know and who you are, what family you belong to. Yeah. The law is for the rich. The law is for the rich people to use against the poor, but it's not for them to follow. Only the poor people are supposed to follow the law. There's no real structure in place. People say they're leaving America because of stress and racism and all that. You're gonna go to Africa to meet another stress if you don't prepare correctly. It's not like you're gonna be making money. That's the hardest part. There's no money to make over there. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to me. Someone say what? You are not in the position to speak on America, especially if you do not know the history and how systematic oppression works. Comparing us to docile people, it's a foolish comparison. Are you talking to me, Friedman? I never said something like that. I'm the one that always say that we African are very docile, and it's done on purpose. We are docile, and when you are a docile person, you don't know that there's any other way of being but that. They are docile because they think that's the right way to be. Like it brings you less problem. We are not only docile people, but we are fearful people. We are very fearful. The fear that the colonizer inflicted into our great grandparents they kind of like they kind of like pass it on generation after generation through the way that they raise their children. African parents raise their children. I I don't even think they understand what properly raising a child is. Especially raising a child that's gonna survive in this world, in this generation. A lot of African children, when they come to America, they struggle a lot, because they don't know how to speak up. They don't even know how to express themselves, expressing feelings and stuff like that. Because when you're a child, they don't teach you that. You're not allowed to speak, basically. I have a live show I was gonna do on I'm gonna do tomorrow on the subject, because I came across a video of an African man that is trying to change that and kind of like helping people change the approach to education in Africa. That video was very eye-opening, and that's something that I always talk about. But you guys know, here on YouTube, I stand alone. A lot of people want to put on a blanket. They put a blanket over their face, over their head, so that they cannot see the truth. I mean, I'm talking about African people. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe people don't just understand. We have a lot of interpersonal relationship. Someone say what? Okay, I misunderstood. No, yeah, no, I cannot even. Oh, that means you don't know me. You don't listen to me, Mr. Freeman. You don't listen to me because you cannot compare Africa and Africans and African American. Don't believe what you see on social media, even here on YouTube. Meet people in person and try to test them. You're gonna see how strong they are. A lot of African people have no emotional intelligence. None. We are very mentally weak, docile. We are the one to always compromise, especially when we're dealing with the foreigners. Among ourselves, it's a different story. You know how it goes. When it comes to fight the outsider, nobody is ready to. Nobody has that strength. They only come after their own people. That's how it goes. So, yeah, I cannot compare African American to an African. Those are not two. I mean, the way of thinking, even the way they perceive the world is different. An African American understand a more wider has a more wider view of the world and understand things. Understand, African person doesn't have any perception. African person is just comfortable seeing Africa the way it is, because they think so small of Africa. They accept Africa the way it is and don't even want to see anything change. That's why it's so hard. You see African people here on YouTube bragging about how Africa is developing, and you look at Africa, you're like, where is it developing? Because people are coming in your city and building and elevating buildings that you guys cannot afford, open business that you guys cannot even get into. I mean, there are places in Africa where an African person cannot even access. Is that normal? It doesn't make any sense. But people will be bragging, oh, Twitter in Ghana, there's this in Ghana. But the Ghanaian people are struggling. They have no access to those things. They don't understand that their country is being gentrified. If we're gonna grow a country, we have to grow that country for the people first, and then the foreigner can benefit too. When the majority of the local are okay, but as long as the locals are the majority of people that are struggling, that cannot access whatever is there, the country is still poor. All right. It wasn't even the colonizer. Africans are still raising their kids in an old village way. Like you said, don't like evolution. You know what, Jem Jawar? There's nothing wrong with raising your child in the old village way. That's even the best education for me. Because people evolve. The people that are raised in the village, they are way well mannered. Okay? They are way stronger. Okay? They know how to survive better because they learn. They don't rely on the fakery of the big cities. Like in the big city, everybody want to copy America. They're wearing Chinese knockoff, whether it's hair, clothes, shoes. All they focus on is like, I don't know how you guys call it in French, in English. Like things that has no substance. That's not gonna sustain you. They focus on things that are not valuable. That's not sustainable. In the village, they give you real, raw, good education. But the only aspect of the village education I don't like is the one that still keep you docile. That's an aspect of African education, of the African parenting I don't like. They beat you into submission. That's how they do. They don't like challenging questions. Okay. I believe both groups have strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, I believe too. Yeah, there's something that Africans has that Africans American like. When it comes to like what, let me see. African people do not complain too much, to be honest with you. Which is bad too, to a certain degree. Because I wish we can complain so that we can make it better. When you have a mindset of just accepting, which is what I like about African American, they are fighters. They know how to say no. They want better for themselves. African people let foreigner comes to Africa in their own country and belittle them, and they submit to them. There's nothing weaker than that. Black Americans have way to go as well in evolution. Of course, everybody, even the white people themselves, they do. Exactly. Building is not for the average citizen. Yeah, you're gonna see over there in Kenya, they're erecting like tall building, and they're selling those apartments at a price that no local can even afford. African people, they are the worst people, like on to their own people, because this government official, they sign deals that really doesn't advantage their own people. So what's the point if like Indian is gonna come to Kenya and build a tall big building and sell only to other Indians and Chinese and then the other foreigners? How is that helping the country? You know, everybody in the world, it's just now that the African American discover Africa, like are showing interest in Africa in Africa. I grew up in Africa, live in Africa, all that. European has always been in my country. That's where they love to go on vacation. Since I've been little, we always see them, and we were always so happy to work for them because they're the one that's gonna pay you a little bit more than your own person. He's the one that's not gonna like hire you and not pay you because even those African that has business in Africa, they don't pay their workers. Most of the time they torture you. They will insult you, they will threaten you, they will not pay you, they will pay you late, and you cannot complain. So Europeans are always seen as the people that are nicer. If you're working for a European, he's gonna give you your money at the end of the month without torturing you like your own African brother. It's very hard for an African person to not like a European. It's gonna be very hard because they score higher than the local African. Even the Africans that are have traveled abroad and came back home and come back home, open a business. That African is still very mean to the Africans on the ground. They're still very mean to us. I used to work when I started working. I used to work for this man that was in France. This man would go 5 months without paying our salary. And every time we have to send the money to France, like we have to like send all the money to France for him again to tell us when we're gonna get paid. He will use all the money to go on vacation, like build his house in the village. He will not pay us. So I don't know. Unless somebody else come to Africa and do better than European, they're always gonna be looked up to. It's gonna take a lot. Unless we decide us African to change our ways and do better and to get to that point, we're gonna have to hold ourselves to a high standard. We're gonna have to be disciplined. We cannot just hope and pray that our own people is gonna prefer us to European. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. We have a culture of holding people back. Africa has to heal. Africans are sick. They are sick. Sick. Let me see. I mean, hold on. Let me see. Why do they consistently fight us on our issues? In our home that we build and then continually fight for human rights that will benefit them too. They attempt calling us a freaking hate group. I don't know. I tell my people that if it wasn't for Black Americans, no Black person in the world would be where they are today. If someone is fighting you, it's ignorance. Don't blame them. Trust me, educate them. I feel like we are all even emotionally unintelligent. I see a lot of African American also get always upset. I don't know why people go get upset when things don't go their way. That always baffles me. And I see this mainly, I see mainly men do this. Like I will be watching Brandon, and you will see how people will get into argument and just get upset and start insulting each other, going below the belt. I'm like, where are we gonna go with this kind of stuff? That's ridiculous. You guys say, "Well, women, this," you know, a lot of African American people over here on the internet bashing African American women. And I look around, I'm like, you guys are not better. If that's how you're gonna be, like you're just fighting and like fighting each other and insulting each other just because you have a disagreement. A lot of time disagreement stems from misunderstanding. And we don't always have to agree. We are different people. It's okay if we disagree. We can respectfully disagree without anyone taking it to heart and taking it personal. I think that's the big difference between African people and other guys. To be honest, black people are too emotional. I mean, even if you get a trigger, like we're supposed to be adults. Adult mean that you can handle your emotion. There's a judge. She used to be on divorce court. It's called Judge Lynn Toller. I love that woman. She taught me so much just by watching divorce court. She has so many advice she gives. It's okay to be upset, but the way you express your anger is the issue. If your anger is going to take over your body, I'm sorry. That means you're weak. When I'm over here on live, you can come say anything. I don't care. To be honest, well, not that I don't care. It might upset me, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna just like take it. Like I have seen some fight on panel, and it scares me. I don't even want to be in the presence of people like this. I would be so scared. Seriously, I don't want none of that. I hate drama. What I know is that we have to do better. And it's the same thing in Africa. If you see those government officials like sitting around the table and trying to come up and trying to discuss some topics, like they always get into their ego. It's always about the end of about, oh, you don't know me, huh? I'm this, I'm that. Do you know who you're talking to? And it goes from like when he say he doesn't know me, that means like he has more money than you, or he has more relation than you. Yeah, that's the two things that means in Africa. When they tell you, do you know who I am? That means money, relationship. Maybe their dad or their child is something big. Yeah, you guys have to do better. All these African men, African American or Africans, you guys have to do better. But anyway, let me read the last one. True. No, that's why I was saying, why is Latin America with more amenity, cheaper to live than Africa. Our people don't always think straight, but just want to. Yeah, it's ridiculous. When I see how much people pay for those houses in Africa with dirt road, I'm not paying for none of that, trust me. You see some dusty Nigeria, they have houses, and even Ghana. Ghana is the worst. These people in Ghana, they show you houses like they will show you like the the view of the neighborhood that looks so horrible. And then they come and they tell you the price of the house. You're like, huh? They get into the fight over nothing. That's the whole, like over just the topic. Can you imagine getting the fight over a topic? That means, what will you do if somebody says something you don't like about your personal life, or maybe your wife, your children, yourself? That'd be worst. Because we come on the panel, it's supposed to be neutral. We don't know each other. The majority of people here on YouTube, they're behind an avatar. I've never seen Jem Joel. I've never seen Mr. Freeman. I have never seen Ras Moise. I've never seen you guys. And you guys gonna start fighting like it's like if I knew you. I don't know. I don't know nobody. Because when we start fighting, guess what? It takes away even like the whole reason why everybody is there. Another one is gas them up. Gas them up is another one. He is so annoying. He is very annoying. And I think he's insecure. Insecure people always hide behind like their emotion. They get upset over nothing. When you disagree with him, he's just upset. I'm like, what the hell? Are these the men that are talking that are, and he's like a woman hater. He's somebody that hates women. I don't know what his wife did to him to divorce him, but he hates women. He always want to put women down. Men that are thinking, men that think that putting women down um, make them feel more like a man are insecure men. That guy is very insecure. No wonder he's gonna go to Nigeria to get those 3 wives he's talking about. Good for him. I'm not against polygamy at all. As long as long as the participants are agree to it. It's only that our African men sometimes they blindside us. Because in my country, you have options. In my country, you can marry as a polygam. Is that how you say in English? Polygam? I don't know. I don't care. But in French, they say polygam or monogam. When you go to get married, right? The officer asks you, the officer asks you, you have to discuss it with whoever you're marrying first and the family. And then when they agree, you go front of the officer. They're gonna ask you formally and publicly, which status are you marrying under? Are you guys marrying under polygamy or monogamy? You guys have to choose. A lot of men in Africa, they will go and choose monogamy, right? Yeah. But guess what? After 5 years of marriage, they will come tell you, oh, you know what? I have this woman that I have been seeing and for a little while. I have the intention to marry her. That's how they blindside you. Huh? Someone say I'm insulting Adas. Am I? I don't know if you just got here. I don't insult people. You will never hear me insult anybody. And even less American people. I'm not into American community to know anything about American that much to insult them about anything. I just listen on the internet. I do not insult anyone. I'm sorry, I'm not sure you're talking to me. I did not insult anyone. I just said that all Africans men are kind of like I found them lacking emotional intelligence. That's all I said. I never say anything about African Americans. That's how our men blindside us with a second wife. And when they say that, before they come to tell you that, guess what? They have already spoken to their family. They have agreed to it. And in Africa over there, it's not like in America where you get divorced and the woman get the house and the children. And in Africa where you get divorced, if your husband divorces you, you carry your stuff and you leave the house and bye-bye. If it's nice, he's gonna let you go with the kids. But most of the time, you want to go, you go alone. You get your luggage and bye-bye. Woman is very at a disadvantage in Africa. And men take advantage of it. I think I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching, for being here for this live. I think I'm done for today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.